Elige vida. Elige Facebook, Twitter, Instagram y confía en que a alguien en alguna parte le importe.
He echado de menos.
Yo también a ti, Sparky. Elige buscar antiguas amantes y desear haberlo hecho todo diferente.
¿Sigues consumiendo heroína?
No. Y elige ver cómo la historia se repite.
Hola, Franco.
Simon, he vuelto a casa.
Elige tu futuro.
20 years has passed and cinema has changed. You have changed as a director. How did you face doing a new thing but keeping the essence of one of your first movies?
That was the big question really, is do you want to keep the essence of it? Or do you want to, we used to talk about it, and this was in terms of the script as well, is how much do we stay in the shadow of the other film? Do we acknowledge its shadow, that it's there? Is it a real thing that exists? Should we see it in the other film, or how much do we ignore it as though it's not there? And we decided to kind of balance the two. So occasionally you refer to it. It's not referred to very much. It feels like a lot, but it's not. It's only about a minute of time. But they're very particularly chosen. They're very acute moments when you use that information, that visual image that says, this is what they look like then, look at them now. And balance it like that. These acute moments, really. So you also have to be careful that you don't want to copy the first film, because that's a pastiche, and they don't want to see a pastiche. They want to see something real that's now. So it feels, because the actors are going to look different. You're not just making a quick sequel where everything's the same formula applies and it's just another version. It's a very different visual experience. They're very, very different looking, capable of different things. But one of the criticisms that the film inherently makes of them is that they have not aged well. They have not forgotten the past enough. They're accused by the girl of just trying to relive the past. And it's a common thing men are guilty of, is they're trying to relive glory days, and they're not maturing into a manhood really where they deserve children. And there are lots of children, images of children throughout the film, disappointed children who haven't got a father figure that's really worthy of them, you know? And the disappointed women as well, who are actually doing the job of bringing up those children. So it's interesting dynamic that's going on the whole time between you and the original film.
The way you mix both of them is what I like the most about the movie. I think you work in parallel, and instead of doing a sequel to explode like a story, I think, are you reflecting about time?
Yeah, it was set out to be a film about time, obviously, because one of the curious things about film, one of its powers is that it freezes time. You know, because you see an actor and they look like what they look like, and you can watch them forever and they're like that. Forever and ever and ever, that film remains the same. But actually, its true power is it can unlock time as well, because it can bring it forward, and the film can obviously show you what they're like now and what they're like then, side by side. And that then returns them to the human condition we all are at the mercy of, which is that we all age, we're all dying, right from the get-go. You know, it's finite, and what do you do with that time is really what the essence of the story is, I suppose.
And music is really important in both of them, and you use some old music, they go to an 80 bar. Is this a way to make them look stuck, like still in time? Yeah, they're
desperately trying to relive their reckless days, really, which is what they enjoyed in the first film, when they didn't care about anyone or anything, and they just kind of like, they just indulged hedonism, addiction, whatever it was they would do. Sex, violence, music, drugs, just pleasure, really. And now they have to kind of like, they can try and do that, but it looks increasingly foolish, futile, sad even. You know, to see them try and relive those glories, really, rather than update properly, really. So, yeah, that's the kind of, and you do it through music, really. There are some memories of the first film's music. There are some great hits that you see them enjoying, but ironically, the kids who are in the club with them are enjoying them as a kind of like, you know, as the past, you know, it's, the hits of the 80s or 90s or whatever, you know. And I don't think that's lost on them. That, you know, that's a bit, there's something doubly sad about that. But we also try and use some modern music as well. There's a wonderful band, Young Fathers, who are featured in the film, who are from Edinburgh, and they guard against too much indulgence in nostalgia, you know, which is obviously a danger with nostalgia, is that you get lost in it, really. And they're accused of that, being tourists in their own youth.
Estás enganchado. Pues sigue enganchado. Pero engánchate a otra cosa. Elige a tus seres queridos. Elige tu futuro. Elige vida.